Let's do this stuff. All right. Do you guys hear that music? Do you guys hear that? Oh, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be fun. It's going to be brutal. Game number 3 will be our second to last series. Our last series will be between Wallace versus Action. But let's introduce our players. Spawning in the top right as our awesome brown Protoss. It will be Splax, who lost to a 2-fact last game, and his opponent will be the orange Terran. It will be Nuity. I love both these players. I love Nuity, probably a little bit more. But by no means am I going to be biased in his cast, because his first game was a little lackluster, or a preemptive GG in my opinion. But Splax, man, he's good as well. Oh man, this music is so fantastic. Oh god, I love it. It's just like musical and oh man. All right, cool. So this map, it's Fighting Spirit. Now let me just give you the rundown on this map here. Generally, Terrans will like to go for more of a 3-base style on this map. Generally, as that third base is so tangible, it's so easy to take. With that third, yes, you have a lot more production capabilities, and I'm not reading that Chinese that was presented to me in the chat. Modesty, go translate that for me, please. And from that, we pretty much Terrans can get up around 6 to 8 factories, produce a lot, maybe even get +3 in that. I think it's around 6 factories to generally go, again, to get 6 factories in, then you get +3, and wish out around 180, 160, 180. And yes, that is fantastic. Now, what other stuff shall I present to us today? Protoss, on the other hand, will take expands very aggressively. Also to note, in the late stages of the game, if we get that far, Terrans will often take another quadrant of the map because it's so easy to defend, and so it kind of reinstates their 3-basing, and it pretty much just allows them to really produce a lot of tanks and stuff again, allowing for the game to go on for quite some time. And let's see here. Protoss will probably just aggressively expand. I would expect probably standard timing, arbiter timing, just because 3-basing is so... 2-basing against a 3-base Terran that's very turtle-like is going to be difficult to break down for sure. So, that being said, I think you're going to be in for a macro game. Unless Nuity decides to go for more of a 2-fact again, which is also very viable. I'm just trying to giving out as many suggestions as we can, because all we know is that there isn't kind of super early cheese that would end the game by 3 minutes. According to Splax, he's going to do a 1-base all-in. For the purposes that Wallace can go view his VOD. But, alright, so we have the factory coming up now. The second factory would be placed down probably now. But I don't think I'm seeing an SCV going around there, so it looks like it's going to be an FD push to start pressuring things off. FD push is meant to make... It's called a fake double push, if you don't know. It's supposed to make Protoss overreact, play a little bit more defensive, allowing you to get up an expansion. A 2-factory would be a lot more aggressive. That if you want to reference a 2-factory, I would reference last game. And it can do a lot of damage. It's sometimes difficult for a player to identify that, so it's sometimes very important for Protoss to really get that scouting information in pretty quickly, but it's sometimes very difficult against a Terran, especially on a 4-player map where you may not know where... You don't know where your opponent is. So, I mean, if it's the last scouting location, they might be walled off. They may already have the Marine out to deny any kind of scouting information. Which sometimes you'll see, 1-base robo builds. Now, this could also be purely for support bay tech, but generally it's mostly for ops tech, which is kind of the reason to figure out what's going on. It's also kind of playing a little bit safe. I'd probably say the safest build would probably be 2-base ops, 2-base robo, just to get out your ops tech faster, but... it's hard to say. And it looks like Terran is getting ready to do this push. He's going to be getting up that Spider-Man. Actually, no. It looks like it's just going to be what would have appeared to be an FD push. It's now just playing more of a defensive position here. Everything geared towards an FD push. Normally, indications normally lead to Spider-Mons being firstly researched. Siege Check is, if you immediately see Siege Check, you absolutely know it's going to be a bunkering Terran. And it is going to be support bay, oddly enough. So it's going to be doing a Reaver drop. We'll see if it can work. It can do a lot of damage to Terrans for sure. And especially Terrans that don't know it's coming. Because even if you put up turrets, the shuttle can just go in an area where it's not in area effect damage. So why would you be killing your own ally? Guess he wants to build an SCV really badly. Or make a tank. He's gonna make a tank with supply block. And yeah. And it looks like waiting to take down an expansion right now. I don't know why he's not rallying down there. He really should be getting that up soon because Terran's already getting up his CC already, and it's done. But we'll have to see. I mean, if this Reaver can do the damage that it needs to do, then he'll be fine in this game. The one thing though, I'd say from a casting standpoint and from a gaming standpoint, sometimes I would frown upon doing Reaver drops so early on, just because like you kind of have to do guaranteed damage to really make this effective. I mean, you're spending, you know, time, gas and time that you need to be getting a robo. You delay your obs for a longer period of time, and it's 401 gas to really do this. Also, plus all the 5 scarabs that you put in, so it's around a 550 mineral investment just the Reaver and shuttle alone. And, I mean, if it doesn't really do too much here, it's kind of a worthless cause, because really shuttles, Reavers aren't really great in this matchup other than Reaver harass. But, we'll see. And, I found this kind of opening right here. Now, will it do enough damage? It definitely caught, I think, Nuity off guard right here, and it's difficult to engage this right now. And the follow-up to back at home base is going to be an expansion and probably Citadel tech, and then probably go into Templar tech and do that. And the whole main base is stop mining. These SCVs actually didn't go down the natural right away, so they're actually not doing too much. Oh, the Reaver! Oh, that was unbelievably lucky for Nuity to snag that off right there. Maybe a little bit poor decisioning. I guess it was kind of lucky that Splax decided to put it down there in Nuity's case. We have a third base coming up right here, and in this case he doesn't want to expand to his opponent. I never really understand how these bases really work out in Terran versus Protoss, because apparently it's okay for Terran to expand to their opponent, but it's not okay for Protoss. It's very confusing to me, at least is what I've heard. To me it's all the same. But the bases I truly do understand now is Zerg versus Protoss. And, wow. This is, he's saying his third base. The Spider-Man will confirm that third base is going up. So definitely, this is where the 8 or 9 minute timing is normally when that third base for Terran normally comes up. At least in C ranks is what I've been noticing. Yeah. We have... We're about 4 gateways coming in here, so production is starting to increase for Splax right here. Now, 4 gateways is not anywhere where you would want to initially be off of 2 fully saturated bases. He could probably, at this current saturation, probably 7 gateways, maybe. That would probably be cutting probes and not getting, you know, observer speed and stuff like that. You'd literally be like, all in, I'm going to go and totally run over and steamroll over my opponent here. And Nuity is going to be going for like a 2-base timing. I forget what player we saw earlier this round of 32, but I know that it has caused... It doesn't tend to do well. It was Tyrannos that did this. That's what it was. And again, you're kind of seeing the same issue with this 2-base timing push. It's like it puts you 30 supply behind against a Protoss, which I don't even really call this a viable build actually. Because Protoss is just off a whole nother base than you, and... Well, I mean, again, mech is powerful. It's just... I don't normally recommend passive play, but I would say don't use your tanks unless you have a good amount of them, because tanks are kind of... They kind of suck in weaker numbers. If you have twice the amount of tanks that we have here and twice the amount of vultures, like twice of mech, it wouldn't be twice as powerful. It'd be like triple or quadruple the time. Mech is exponentially more powerful. Oh, that was a nice little trick right there. But that Reaver's going to instantly get sniped off with from those tanks. It's a cute move, but I mean, he can't really rally units here. And he's going to try to set up a contain. This can work. The downside to being this kind of aggressive Terran style is that if you lose these tanks, there's really not a lot of coming back. I mean, especially off of 2 base. Like, this is what you build up the past 10 minutes to really get this far. And I cup. Oh, Alexei Skrutov. Oh, is that Frost? Or is that BMW? I don't know. Is that Frost or BMW? I don't know. But I don't know why he's not getting Zealot bombs. It would definitely work. Turrets are trying to come in here. These 3 tanks are dead, though. Actually, maybe not. Yeah, they're dead. With the Reaver on top of there. Yeah. Well, actually, no. Surprisingly good control. He will be able to keep 1. Or not. Or not. Actually, yes, he will. So this Contain's actually doing a good amount of damage down to Splax right now. Generally, this doesn't... I mean, the supplies definitely didn't lead for it to be super effective. But with proper Spider Mine, proper placement, it's working very well for Nuity at this time. And Splax is in trouble because this base is not connected to his natural. So, I mean, he can't really help reinforce, and this base is looking in not a great position right now. And to defend it, Splax is gonna have to go right through a siege line, and we're not gonna have the time for any kind of arbiter play. So let's say it's gonna go 2 base arbiter timing, but that's not the case this time. The timing, the way this game's worked out for build order rise, it's not gonna have arbiter tech for quite some time. This will be the time for him to start doing it, and he has good amount of Zealots though. Zealots are pretty good, but they're starting to take a lot of splash damage from those tanks right there. But it looks like it will be enough to break through this, though. So Splax is doing a pretty good job of doing this. And now all of a sudden, this 3rd base is very vulnerable. I mean, looking back at the base of the base of Nuity right now, which is he has 42 SCVs, but 7 Vultures, 3 tanks, compared to 13 Zealots. I mean, or 13 Goons and 7 Zealots. I mean, that can easily steamroll over Nuity. So this is the timing for him to push. And also, I mean, like, even if let's say if the tanks are too much for him, the 3rd base, man, is completely vulnerable. Now, it's not the right time to take a 3rd base, but... And he did save the Nexus, actually. Didn't realize that. Thank you, Neither. Yeah, he did. He actually did keep it with 100 HP. Shields are still regenerating, so that sucks. And Nuity's, and again, like I was saying though, like a 2-base timing push from Terran. This is not a map I would encourage it on, but it kind of worked. But then Protoss just built up an army and just broke it down, and now you see the tank numbers heavily dwindled. I mean, we probably had at least 7 tanks, maybe 8. From that overall contain before it was completely broken through. Probably 7 or 8 tanks right there. And it's a shame that they all died. It's 3 base to 3 base now, but I'm not sure if Splax knows about it. Has he checked this recent location? No, he doesn't even have vision over it yet. It's going to be going across the map. He does have an obs over here, though. If he was checking this general area, he should be seeing tanks going down that area, so he should definitely know that there is a 3rd base operational here. In response, he does take down a 4th base right there as well. And let's oh wow, let's look at the vision of this player, and it's tough. It's gonna be tough. Now he sees tanks over here. He's trying his best to break through it, but it doesn't look like there's enough tank DPS right now. And yeah, this 3rd base is exposed. The tanks are a little further back than you really want them to be to help defend this. Oh, man. Oh, God. That's not good. That's not good. These tanks are going to die. These tanks are going to die. Back at base. 3 tanks overall. I think Splax is going to take this. I mean, he has another base to rally it up. He's not really going to be exposed to double expanding, triple expanding, actually. I'll take that. There might be Manor Nexuses for that matter, but he's going to be off of, at the end of this. Let's say if he doesn't even break through this, he feels like he can't break through this. say that. And Byakuya is right. There could be a carrier transition. I don't think we're seeing an indication of that happening, as he's really still only saturated off of 3 base, but he has 6 Nexi to really make a whole bunch of probes if he wants to. I mean, he can macro up behind this and be totally fine. And that's how you play Protoss and Terran versus Protoss. This is not a play style I would recommend versus Protoss on this map as Terran. To do that aggressive 2-base timing because you're down 30 supply by the time that's over with. But yeah, he did triple expand, and he's not getting punished for it. I mean, this theoretically could put him behind because that could have been triple expands equivalent to 1,200 minerals, which could have been 12 zealots, probably 9 goons equivalent. So yeah, it's not a great time for that. And the Spider-Mine's still there, actually. 167 supply, 0 upgrades though. I believe he got his first forge coming in right now, right here. He doesn't have double forge yet. We do starting to get the Stargate. It's a relatively late Stargate, but due to the circumstances of this game, I don't think it's purpose. 12:30 is probably the normal time. A little later, a little before, it's probably the standard time. You can always hit Arbiter Tech around 9 minutes and 30 seconds as well. But what the end verdict, though, is that because of the contain, it reset a lot of the time. It took time for both players trying to recuperate from that. So Arbiter Tech can be delayed. It could also be a potential carrier transition that Byakuya said. And he is saturated. He did do a triple transfer, apparently. He's getting up cannons as well and gateways. So, I mean, he's going to have a lot of economy after this. I mean, looking at the economy standpoint, it looks like we're pushing out for Nuity right here. I'm just not quite sure if we realized that 3 more bases were taken in the time that he was recuperating. 77 probes, which is a ridiculous amount compared to 46. I mean, he has almost double the harvesters. Or about double the harvesters. If he had double the amount over 46, I'd be a little scared. But, wow. And Nuity is, I mean, he's being aggressive. Which, I mean, you have to give him some credit for that. I mean, most Terrans would probably just spec at the base, but tanks are exposed. It's not a choke point where he's just not working, and that's not helping his cause at all. He's going to retreat, though. He's going to save at least 3 tanks, which is not bad. Don't get me wrong. What is this? That is a barracks. And let's see. Is it going to be carriers? No, it's going to be Arbiter Trinity. He's only getting 1 Stargate, though. A little interesting because he could be off of 6 gas. Of how like he could go mass Archon and probably, yeah, and also ahead by 100 supply as well. So Splax, man, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job. Pretty much dominating Nuity right now. And it's just, I think it's just because Nuity just does not know about these bases. He hasn't scanned, he might have scanned this area beforehand, but he's definitely not checked these bases right here. These bases right here. He has no idea. You're looking at his player cam right now, like he has no vision. And he's just gonna pull every SCV and go for it. So why don't we get this in full vision? But it's just gonna push across the map, going blind sight and just has no idea what's in front of him. Luckily for him, he's not running right into a Protoss army with 0 upgrades. Nuity, though, on the other hand, does have +1. 18 minutes. I think both players should probably be on about 2-2. But anyway, it's a lot of goons. Tanks are not sieged. They're in a very straight line, which will allow the Zealots to pretty much get in there and do all their side blades of destruction. And that'll be a GG for Nuity. So game 2 will be, or game 3, excuse me, will going down to Splax. So that will conclude this best of 3. And we're gonna go into our last series, guys, momentarily. And that's going to be fun, fun, fun. People on YouTube, thanks for watching iCup. Oh, excuse me, Yellow Star League. I'm so used to ending with iCup. But on YouTube VODs, we'll be back for our next series. Thanks, guys, for watching.